Hello folks, quick update on the bike project. So this morning what I've done is I've installed the spark plugs, put in the NGK plugs, checked the gaps, put them in, torqued them down. Wasn't too difficult. The two at the sides are a bit awkward because of the chassis getting in there and there, but I managed to do it with a couple of extension bars and one of those corner joint things. What do you call them? Universal joints, whatever they're called, can't remember. So that's the spark plugs in, and I've also fitted the HT leads. These are the HT leads. They're actually numbered on the HT lead. They say like ENG1, ENG2, 3 and 4. So that helps you get them in the right place. That's the cylinder 1, 2, 3 and 4. So that's them in. There's a couple of problems with them. One is, I mean, they do fit, they go on, but it probably doesn't show too well in the video, but there's actually a gap between the bit that's supposed to seal onto the top of the valve cover and the actual valve cover itself. So these caps are about 1 inch too long, so I think they must be for a newer fire blade or something like that. And then they maybe redesigned the engine a bit, but anyway, what I can do is I can get some different caps and just cut those caps off the HT leads and put on caps that fit. So that should solve that problem. The other problem is that these, looking in my Haynes manual, I can see that these are the coils, and these are supposed to be attached with some brackets. You get like a U-shaped bracket that goes that bolts on here and here, and then the two ends of it bolt onto the coil like that and hold them on. But I don't have those, so basically I either need to buy some or I can make some. I might make some with the aluminium. I got some sheet aluminium offcuts in the post yesterday, so I could maybe knock some brackets up out of them. So we'll see. I'll have a think about that and see what I'm going to do. So that's the HT leads and plugs, and then these are the carburetors. So I was cleaning these up yesterday night. I was going to do a time lapse, but for one reason and another I ended up not doing a time lapse. I couldn't get kind of things set up very well, like the camera and this and that, so I didn't do the time lapse, unfortunately. But what I've done essentially, I haven't stripped down the carbs completely because I would need a carburetor rebuild kit with all the seals and everything, and I haven't got that. I could probably get one. I might get one at some point over the winter and rebuild the carbs properly. But what I've done in the meantime is I've just given them a general kind of clean up. Just used this Carplan carb and throttle cleaner, which I've had for a while. I think I got that from Halfords or something, or it might have been off eBay, I can't remember, but anyway. So just giving them a bit of a scrub up. They don't look too bad, you know. I mean, they look reasonable. These are from a 1998 fire blade, so a few years newer than the blade that I've got, but they seem to basically fit. So the next job is to fit them on. I've taken the rubbers off as well and given them a good clean up. They were a bit difficult to get off. You undo the clamps, unscrew the clamps, but they were still quite well stuck, but I managed to pry them off with a flat blade screwdriver. Just got a flat blade screwdriver in there and just levered them off, and they came off. So I've given them a really good clean up because these were really pretty dirty. There was all sorts of grease and grunge in there, and obviously I don't want all that stuff getting sucked into my engine, so I've given them a really good clean. Obviously I took all these kind of hoses, fuel hoses and whatnot, and vacuum hoses and this and that off, and I took the cables off as well so that I could clean it. That's the choke cable, and there's 2 throttle cables there. And I've also cleaned as well as I can inside the carbs. Obviously without taking them apart I can't completely clean them, but what I did was I sprayed some cleaning fluid into the throttle butterflies. I've also cleaned up all these springs and things. The springs on the throttle, on the shaft that goes through the throttle butterflies. So you can see, if you open the butterfly, you can see down into the carbs, and they don't, in terms of cleanliness, they're not actually too bad. They're not really kind of grunged up in there. They're pretty much kind of clean aluminium. I managed to get a rag in and clean around here a little bit. and it's kind of the same on the other side, cleaned up around here a bit, but again, I mean, it wasn't too bad really, to be honest. These are the I think these are called the main jets. I'm not really an expert on carbs, I'll be honest, but I think they're called the main jets. And again, if you look at the jet itself, it's not particularly dirty. I've seen photos on the internet of really dirty carbs. Sometimes these main jets can be really quite kind of grunged up with all kind of like resin, kind of like yellow sort of resin stuff, which I think builds up from the petrol, some residue that's in there. I don't know, to be honest, but and these seem to be quite smooth as well. When you push them up, they go up quite easily, the main jets, and the needles look pretty decent. They're all kind of straight and good condition and clean and everything, so I think really the carbs seem to be fine, so I'm quite happy with that. That's the idle adjustment screw, so that's the bit where the throttle cables go through and down onto the throttle thing, and that there is the throttle position sensor. I think, I'm not totally sure, but I have a feeling that the old 94, 90, 93, 94, that kind of era of Fireblade didn't have that throttle position sensor, so that might be surplus to requirement. But if it is, I can just leave it unplugged, or I can take it off. Doesn't really matter too much, it's not going to get in the way. Or I might be wrong, it might have the TPS, I'm not entirely sure. I guess maybe my Haynes manual will tell me, I can look up and find out. But the plan is next to fitting the carbs is one of the things I'm going to do next, but I'm also thinking about fitting the front end just now, but we'll see. So look out for more videos, because there's going to be more stuff going on over the weekend. Alright, thanks for watching.